Hello, 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 and welcome to the Unnamed Comics Podcast. I'm Alex,
I'm Cisco.
and this week we're doing another This Week in Comics episode because they're just fun, and this has been a great week for comics.
Yeah,
Uh,
along with this week, the week ending in the 29th, along with the upcoming week, October 6th. These 2 weeks have been pretty damn good. Both pretty good for comics and going to be pretty good for comics.
yeah, it's there's a lot of drops happening. Um, Marvel and DC
Yep.
just going off.
To get started first, the weekly poll.
Yeah, and also,
Uh,
sorry if this is your first
yeah.
time watching, welcome.
Oh, that's
If
fair.
you're new here because we're on YouTube now, if you're just finding us, welcome. In the description, you can find our Discord. I'm just gonna throw
Yeah.
that out there.
Welcome, welcome.
But yeah, sorry. Go ahead.
So this week coming up, we are getting Marvel's Dark Ages #2.
Yeah. Have you seen the previews for it?
Yes,
So good. I couldn't be
I'm,
more excited.
I'm excited for that. We're also getting Amazing Spider-Man #75, Savage Avengers #25, which oddly enough, I've been pretty into since it's come out.
Really?
We're getting Eternal Celestia, issue #1 coming out this week. And frankly, the whole Eternals run that's been happening within the past 2 months have been pretty damn good.
Yeah. That's like one of those things that I've been reading from Marvel. Like, I don't read a lot of Marvel, and Eternals has just been like so solid.
And like I know a lot of it is due to
The movie.
K Zama's artistry in writing it. Because it has like that. We've talked about it before on here, where I prefer really realistic looks to comics.
You like the Kingdom Come style?
Yeah, I like the Kingdom Come, the Thor Gods and Thunder run that was in 2014 that came out, that introduced Gore, the God Butcher, who's going to be in the new Thor Love and Thunder movie.
Which is super fucking exciting because that character super popular.
Super popular and got expounded on in a fun way in the King in Black series.
Yeah.
Um,
King in Black also. I wouldn't be surprised if we saw some big screen from that storyline eventually.
I haven't gotten the chance to watch Venom 2, Let There Be Carnage.
I haven't gotten the chance to watch Venom 1, so.
But I did like it was spoiled for me because I saw the after credit scene and holy shit.
Yeah?
Like it's what's Venom's origin story?
Are you asking me?
Yeah, I'm asking you. Yeah.
Venom's. Well, I mean, now it's like the symbiote planet thing with like all the god of the symbiote stuff, but like
Hmm.
originally, uh, when Spider Man got the suit,
Yep.
fabricated for him, and then he came back and it turned out the suit was like alive.
Hmm.
That's Venom's origin story.
Yep. And then how did Eddie get the suit?
Well, Spider Man like was at the top of that like church
Hmm.
tower. The bell rang. The symbiote had to like run away from Peter Parker, and Eddie Brock just happened to be there.
Yeah. So I think this is because Venom more and more, like the more the comics have come out, it's been like a kind of a love story where Venom, the symbiote,
It's true.
is like Spider-Man's ex-girlfriend,
Yeah,
or ex-lover, and Eddie is like his replacement, but he'll never be like his number one.
sure.
I think in the movies it's gonna be the reverse of that.
You think he's gonna end up with Spider Man?
because not end up with
And he's gonna
Spider-Man
be like, "I wish I was with Eddie. Where's Eddie?"
only because of that after credit scene.
Okay, I'm gonna have to watch both of these movies. I
Like
didn't
I
watch I
can't
didn't watch Venom because I was like, this is just from everything I saw. I was like, this is not gonna be
I can't
great.
speak to the quality of Venom 2. I watched the first one and it's not a great movie.
Yeah,
It's just a fun movie.
yeah. I'm not opposed to watching it. I just had no urgency
Mm.
to go see it.
But the end credit scene for Venom 2 is like peak tier, and it has me more invested in this.
Well, that's cool. I There's also some Spider-Man news that we can get into. Uh, where we basically confirmed, since we're talking about Venom, might as well.
Hmm.
Uh, it's all like, you know, that leak that happened recently where Andrew Garfield like is in his Spider-Man costume,
Hmm.
and like Andrew Garfield was like, it's fake. Like everyone's like, oh no, it must be a deep fake. Corridor Digital released a video today going through why it couldn't really be a deep fake and
Hmm.
how low the likelihood that it's a deep fake or like it's fake is. Um, so it seems like this is more like a promotional like leak,
Hmm.
you know, where they're gonna deny it all the way through, but it's gonna get more people to want to see the movie.
Hmm.
The new Spider-Man, yeah. I at this point, I wouldn't be surprised if. Oh, where'd you go? Oh no, did we lose him? Uh oh. Did his phone die? Oh. Oh, there you
Oops.
are.
Oops. Sorry about that.
What happened?
I have no idea.
You disappeared, and I was like, oh no.
I have no idea what happened.
Yeah. Uh. Anyway, I wouldn't be surprised if we see Tobey Maguire and Andrew Garfield in the next Spider-Man movie.
I'm.
Whereas I was like before, I was like, they probably won't do that. Like we would all love for that to happen. It
Yeah.
probably won't happen. Now I'm kind of like, well,
Will it happen?
if this is real, assuming it is, because it looks like it is real.
Hmm.
Um, like how do you square that around? Because it's definitely not like that. If that image is real, it's definitely not from the set of Amazing Spider-Man 2.
Yeah.
Like he looks completely different. Like, you know, Andrew Garfield has aged a bit.
I would assume it's gonna be like, okay, Tobey Maguire's Spider-Man and Andrew Garfield's Spider-Man had continued to be Spider-Man
Yeah.
uh throughout the years, and now they're just like in a different suits. Hopefully Tobey Maguire's Spider-Man is in a different suit. Um
I want him in the exact same suit.
no, I don't like
I want him in the same. I want him in the same suit, and I want him wearing a black suit when he's Peter Parker, so he
no.
can go around and dance.
No, I desperately want both of those suits to be updated.
Sure. I mean, they will be. If like
Like
they'll stylistically be the same, but they'll definitely like look better.
Tom Holland's suit with I know they do it in
So good.
editing, but like it emoting, the eyes emoting with what he's doing, like it spoiled me. And like in the games, that's the reason why I don't pick any of the costumes that don't do that.
The effects are too good.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know. I thought it would be silly for me not to bring that up after seeing it today.
Mhm.
You know, because I was like, oh,
Oh yeah.
this it it seems like one of those things. Like someone posted a video of them faking doing a deep fake. Like so they didn't do a deep fake. They faked like as if it was a deep fake. It was like a
Hmm.
prank on the internet, and a
Okay.
bunch of news articles picked up. They're like, oh, it was a deep fake, confirmed. And it's like, nah, man, this
No, that
dude,
wasn't.
it's literally a prank. Literally, he
This is
says it's a
true.
prank.
Yeah.
So funny. But like, so if you're looking at the news and you're like, ah, it's debunked, it's not debunked. We genuinely do not
Yeah, and
know.
then to get away from Spider-Man
What
because
else is coming out?
I am going to be coming back to that because of what happened in Spider-Man number 74.
Fantastic.
Uh, we're getting Batman issue 114.
Yup.
It's going to
Continuing Fear
be
State.
yep with Peacekeeper X versus Peacekeeper 1.
Yeah, they I don't think you've been reading Batman like Fear State,
Yep.
have you? You did?
Yeah, I caught up.
You caught up? The reveal for Peacekeeper X was dope.
Oh yeah.
I was like, oh, that guy's Peacekeeper X, that makes so much sense and that's cool as hell.
Yeah, and now I can't wait for him to fight Peacekeeper 1, who is a was a former Arkham guard,
Yeah.
who is thoroughly losing his shit.
He's a psychopath. Like he's a
He's a psychopath dosed with Scarecrow fear toxin.
yeah, like and
Like
not just like the old fear
the
toxin,
real fear toxin.
the real shit, like the crazy shit. In relation to that though, we have Arkham City: The Order of the World um,
Mm-hmm.
coming out, which is like kind of about what happened to Arkham after Joker's attack. You know, and it focuses on like some of the prisoners that were there.
Mm-hmm.
It seems like it looks like it's gonna be one of those darker, grittier
Like
style,
like
like
down more down to like people level gritty.
more down to like people level and visually.
Mm.
Visually, it seems like it's gonna be more like kind of horror esque.
Okay, I'm
Um,
down with that.
yeah, no, I'm gonna pick up the first issue and see what it is because it seems interesting. It's always interesting. Um,
And then we're also getting Justice League Infinity number 4,
mhm.
which
Justice League
is
Infinity being the animated
yep.
series continued in comic form.
And that's it for this week. On the 13th is when the next round of comics come through, and I'm looking at the list right now, and it looks to be a good balance between both Marvel and DC.
Yeah, I mean, right now, like there's in terms of events, like Marvel with Dark Ages is like the thing I'm most excited for this week,
Yeah.
easily.
Last week was they issued out Darkhold Alpha number 1. That looks to be setting up Doctor Doom as like the next in the continuity as the next bad guy.
Yeah, which he hasn't really been for a while.
You know, he hasn't, and like I'm glad that we're getting back to him, kind of going back to his old ways.
He's an A-list villain.
I would put him at S tier.
You put him S tier. Yeah, I mean, it depends on what you're reading. I think but he's great. Like, it makes sense. They should bring him back in the limelight a bit. Right.
Um, and I think that's it for the weekly poll.
Yeah, I can't think of anything else that's coming out. Like, it's not a very long list of things that are coming out. It's fairly balanced. Like, but it's solid.
Yeah.
It's solid, and I'm excited for Dark Ages.
Um,
Because I think, as we know, next month is going to be all about Dark Knights of Steel.
oh yeah.
It's
Like
all we're going to talk about it a lot, probably. So
yeah, we're gonna be heavily centered on Dark Knights of Steel.
the amount of shilling we'll be doing will be disgusting. Um, let's see. Yeah, but this past week in comics is what we're going to be talking about today. What do you want to start with? You want to start with Marvel or DC?
Let's start with DC.
Okay. Well, I think we might as well talk about the elephant in the room of comics right now for
Mhm.
DC, which is obviously a Batman versus Big. Now, fuck it. We're talking about Superman, Son of Kal-El, issue 3. We'll get to Batman, Bigby Wolf in a second, but Superman, Son of
Yeah, no,
Kal-El, issue 3.
we're gonna hop into the Tom Taylor shill van.
Yeah, we're gonna chill and then we'll
We'll
slow it
wind
down.
down.
We'll wind it down, but we need to get to it because what an impactful fucking issue.
Yeah.
Like, it shows you everything that you want. It shows a passing of a torch. It shows Jonathan Kent Superman being more than just like a guy who fights the average supervillain. Like, and standing up for like what's right. Like, it shows him dealing with personal and like essentially like I guess work issues.
Hmm.
You know what I mean? Like it has such emotional pull,
Yeah,
and
I'm
you
pulling
see
up
it
the
in
issue right
almost
now.
every page. That like to the point where when I was watching it, after I read it, I immediately like texted my girlfriend and I was like, "Fuck, you got to read like just try, just read the first 3 issues. If you don't like it, fine. But like, there's something about this series hits different."
Because it is because like when Superman does his thing, we don't tend because I know I have and I know you definitely have like analyzed what Superman's doing.
Yeah,
But like Superman doesn't do that himself. Like you don't hear that monologue most of the time. You certainly hear it when it comes to like earlier versions of Superman or like Superman Earth One, when like he has to like figure out okay,
he has
at,
doubt.
yeah. But with Jonathan Kent, he like the first panel is like okay, my dad's holding up the building. There are 472 people. I have 5 seconds to save 472 people, and then you just see him zooming through the building, trying to save them in 5 seconds.
Yeah, and then he goes and their pets, and he's saving like fucking dogs and cats and shit too,
Hmm.
because it all fucking matters to him. Like it,
Yeah, like
it's a small like touch, but like it's very humanizing.
and then the line of protesters that were out of the fuck
They
where
were
was it?
they were protesting the forced um, what's the word for it?
Oh, the refugees
Yeah,
from
the
the
refugees were
from
from the
Paradis.
island. Yep, where like the next villain is from. Like the next Superman villain is a guy who runs an island nation.
Hmm.
That looks like paradise on the outside, but obviously, if there are boatloads of refugees trying to escape it on like rickety ass ships, can't be that great.
Yeah, and
Right.
then Jonathan stands with them because the police are
Yeah.
trying to like disperse them. And he's like, "Oh, these people are here illegally." And he's like, "Well, I'm gathering with them."
Yeah. He
Like,
he locks arms and he lets himself get arrested. In fact, he
yeah,
kind of pushes
yeah,
for
because
himself to get arrested because they're
yeah,
like,
the
we're
police
not going to
officer
arrest
was,
Superman. It's like, yes, you
and he
are.
was like, he's like, I mean, I know who I am. Do
Yeah,
your job.
exactly. But I think there was a really impactful panel where he's talking about Superman as a refugee, like his
Yeah,
father as a
yeah,
refugee.
'cause
Because
that's what
like
he is.
in no way is Superman not a refugee. His planet was destroyed. His parents put him on a spaceship for a better
Hmm.
life, kind of deal. Like Superman as a refugee makes perfect sense. Like in terms of squaring it up like that.
Yeah, and
Um,
like it's been iterated in other comics that Superman is a refugee from another planet.
yeah,
But hearing Jonathan say it, and I think it's because he is that half human,
yeah.
that it hits more for people.
He's a second generation Earthling.
Yep.
Like if you want to put it that way. Like it just there's something about this comic that hits different, and I think it's because these situations are shit that happens in the real world more
Mm-hmm.
than you would average you would normally see in comics. Like you don't normally see like actual social issues take place. You know, like usually we go larger than life like threats.
Yeah.
Like it's a giant robot or something attacking the city. It's very rarely that we see like it's like, oh, it's this like fucking it's this politician that runs this island and he seems like a nice guy from the outside, but he's kind of like a fucking dictator. Like
Question mark?
kind of like an oppressive like regime going on maybe. It's
Maybe.
maybe
Keyword. Maybe.
maybe allegedly. I'm alleging. But you know, like uh I don't know. To me, it's something that I know that, and I'll say this, not for everyone. I don't think. I think like there are some people that are reacting to this. They're like, "Ah, God, I don't want to see fucking like the world. Oh, the world sucks. Like I don't want to see it happen
I
in
don't
my
want to see
comic
it in my
books.
comics.
It's like, but on the other hand, you never see it in comics.
Yeah.
It's so rare that we just come out right out and say it. Like it'd be like, oh yeah, well this happens. It's like these people are like we just like these people deserve like to feel safe. They escaped a horrible place, and this guy is trying to like get them back.
Yeah, like and just keep them.
Yeah, it's kind of like doesn't that like bother anyone, right? Like,
Um yeah,
but yeah,
he, the I forget what his name is.
fuck. I
Um
the pink haired kid that's obviously gonna be like Superman's boyfriend someday. That's what it feels
um
like, man. That's what it feels like.
I feel like this is going to be his lowest lane. Like
Yeah,
not so much as a romantic way, but in a partner way.
I think it could go either way. I think that leak might have been true.
Hmm.
Um, Either way, I like the back and forth. I like that Jonathan has a friend, right? You know what
Hmm.
I mean? Like it's like, oh, that's nice because his only friend seems to be Damien.
Yeah.
And it's like, how available is Damien to talk to, like realistically?
Not even how available that he is to talk to, because Jonathan made it very clear that he could find him no matter where he is.
Well, yeah.
It's more like, is he the most relatable person to talk to?
Is he the everyman that we're looking for?
Like, Jonathan Kent grew up on a farm like his dad,
Yeah.
raised to be a hero in the sunlight,
In the way that his father is, yes.
versus Damien, who was trained by the League of Assassins, trained with Batman, trained with Dick Grayson, partnered with Red Hood quite a few times, died, came back to life, and is now in
Had
a death tournament.
superpowers.
Had superpowers,
Remember that one? That was like out my
and then
head.
and then is now currently in a death tournament.
Yeah, which we'll talk about in a second because it's so
Is
funny.
it?
It's
Is that relatable?
is that
Is it?
relatable though? It's not like I read that because I enjoy like the almost high fantasy element of Damian Wayne fighting in a death tournament.
Mhm.
Right now, I'm reading Superman because it's like it's grounded,
Yeah.
even with all like the. I mean, the issue opens up with them grabbing a metahuman who has seismic powers but doesn't know
How
like
to use them?
how to use them or where or what's going on. Like they're wearing like a suit, like a super suit, like looking thing where it has like their name on it, like a superhero name on it, but they don't remember anything.
Um,
They don't know how they got there, right? So
um,
like there's that subplot going on in like the comic too. And but even then, even with like that kind of crazy like oh, it's metaphysical like, you know, shit. Um Even
and
then
then
I'm interested.
even his friend not freaking out because of Superman, but freaking out because of Lois Lane.
I I fucking loved that scene because it's like, oh my god. He's like, yes, hello, sir. And then it's like, oh my god, that's Lois Lane. Like, he's, because it's like, it makes sense. Because it's like, to this character who, like, is all about, like, journalism. Like, they run, like, almost like a pirate journal, like, news website, right?
Mhm.
Kind of like a college pirate radio, almost.
Yeah,
Um, like, he's like, Clark Kent's great and all. Clark Kent writes good stuff. He's a good writer. But Lois Lane, I mean,
he's not a Pulitzer Prize winner.
yeah, exactly. Like, you could see the excitement.
Yeah, and
You
then
understand the character too right away. It's like, this is
yeah,
what
he's
this
a
person
journalist.
values,
Yeah,
which is
he
great.
values the truth. Who through Lois Lane's run in Action Comics and comics in general, that's what she's been pushing, like looking for the truth when it comes to like Sluther, Inner Gang,
Yeah,
along with like any other big metropolis news, and even sometimes world news, like when it came to uh oh, why am I forgetting it? Leviathan.
yeah. I think it's important to keep in mind Lois Lane is probably the most prolific journalist of the time.
Yeah.
Like, who has more like impactful writing than Lois Lane? Like at this point, in the DC universe, at least that we know of.
Yeah, and it's to her credit that it's funny because it was explained like a while ago, but I remember it where the villains of the DC universe have a no fly list on who to and who not to go after.
Yeah,
And it's mainly a like avoid these people
avoiding
and
the
like
Daily Planet is one of those things.
and then it's like it's Lois Lane. Lois Lane is at the top of that list because if you fuck with her, you fuck with Superman.
Yeah, yeah.
Um, and then like the excitement of Jay coming in and meeting the Kents just kind of gets sucked out of the room when Clark just looks at Jonathan and is like, it's time.
Yeah, there's been this building like, when is Superman gonna leave? Because we've known he's gonna leave for a while.
Hmm.
Um, and this is the issue. Like, this is when he's gone. And it's like it's a very sad moment because it's kind of like it is this passing of the torch moment where it's like, hey, like, don't come after me. It's like would you follow that? Like,
Yeah, would you
if
listen
if
to
you were
Marvel?
me, would you? What would you do if I said that to you? He's like, I would search the universe. I wouldn't stop until I found you. It's like, yeah, it's fucking, it's sad, but like also, I don't know, it's this real passing of the torch moment where it's like, this Earth is yours, so you need to protect it. I have no
Yeah,
doubt that you will, kind of deal.
yeah, like Jonathan is like kind of pleading with his dad to stay, and like he in like really get kind of desperate plea, like as any son would say to his father who's leaving the house for a significant amount of time. Is like people need you here. Superman Clark just kind of goes looks at him and is like, no, people need Superman, and that's you right now.
Yeah,
The man of tomorrow. I no, he says,
I'm the man of
I'm the man
tomorrow.
of tomorrow. You're the man of today.
You're no, he says, I'm the man of tomorrow. You're for all the days after,
Oh, you're for the days after.
which is like fucking. It's so awesome of a line. Like, it sticks with you.
Hmm.
Um, but
And then
yeah,
no sooner than they have this tender moment, and Jonathan looks to Martha Kent, Clark's mother. He's like, "You're not worried?" He's like, "I'm always gonna be worried for my boy, but I trust him to know his limits,
yeah.
and I don't doubt my son.
She
I
says
learned,
he always comes back, I think is what she said.
yeah, he comes back every time."
Yeah,
Uh, and then like Superman flies off with Lois Lane to like say his goodbyes. Um, and then the Mr. Bendix, that's the dude's name from
yeah.
Gamora Island, drops fault line on the Kent farm.
Fault line being the person that we saw at the beginning of the issue who didn't know what was going on and like why their powers were, or what that they had powers.
Yeah, who was she was left in the custody of Star Labs in the hopes of getting her treatment to make her better.
Okay, now I just say something. What the fuck is going on with Star Labs lately? Star
Hmm.
Labs has been like a rotating door of like disasters and fucking just like evil shit happening.
Listen, in my book, like reading through comics, whatever, Star Labs has never been the good guys.
Yeah, but they're usually not. They're usually like a neutral, like, hey, we're a science place, not like a we supplied the devil with like its tools. Like, it's crazy. Like in the past like 2 years, it's really felt like Star Labs has gone, hey, we'll
Fuck
sell to
you.
the highest bidder. Um, but yeah, I think it's worth mentioning though. The reason why Jonathan is so concerned is because at this point he knows that in the history books, Superman never comes back to Earth.
Yeah, which is like that's from the 31st century.
Yeah, because Jonathan lived in the future with the Legion,
Hmm.
so he knows that this is it, and Superman knows that it's it too. Because like
It's it's
Superman
from the
doesn't seem
records
to
of the Legion.
buy it. Like he's like he's like I think a little bit of it's like I'm Superman. I'm gonna come back, obviously.
And I think it's that, and like also, it's been proven multiple times that things in the past don't always match what's available in the future.
Yeah, especially when you're talking about like 1,000 years of the future too.
Because like it could be that, oh, Superman never comes back, but that's because he doesn't come back as Superman. He doesn't come back to be Superman again.
Sure,
Like he comes back as Clark, and he stay like when he's in space, he's Superman. Like he's Superman for the universe, but
nothing
when
that
it
would
comes,
make history.
nothing that will make history.
I understand that. Yeah, I think
Like
you might be right on that one.
and like when he comes to Earth, he's Superman's dad. He's Jonathan's dad.
You. um, but yeah, it ends with like this kind of cliffhanger where we don't know who's dead because
Mm-hmm.
the Kent farm definitely destroyed.
It's gone. It's
Superman's
absolutely
shouted
gone.
at home, 100% destroyed.
Mm-hmm.
The question is, did Ma and Pa make it out? Did Jay make it out? Like, are will they have survived? Did Jonathan notice it?
And I mean, let's be real here. It's not the original home anyway.
No.
Because how many times is it? It's like WandaVision, the ship of Theseus.
Yeah. How many times can you? How many pieces can you take off of Superman's home before it ceases being Superman's home?
Hmm.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, we know like specifically that this house, not even in the same place.
Yeah, and it's also been relocated multiple
It's
times as
been
well.
relocated because when everyone figured out that uh, Clark Kent was Superman, like they were like, we gotta like move your parents.
And then didn't they also wasn't Sanctuary also Superman's old home?
It was based on Superman's home.
Yeah. Okay.
It was like the whole design was like, hey, we got a Ma and Pa robot deal, and we got this farmhouse kind of
Hmm.
deal. It's like a very peaceful place to like get therapy.
And then
Yep.
also leading into son of Kal-El, issue number 3 was Action Comics 1035,
Yep.
which I know you haven't read.
I haven't read. I'm like an issue behind, but go ahead. I do not mind.
It's definitely that same thing where it's like you get the actual explanation, like the kickoff of what sends Superman to Warworld,
Yeah.
because we all know that's where he's going. But he, at the end of the comic, he's not going alone.
Is he taking Lois Lane?
No, he's taking the authority with him.
Oh. The timeline
Hmm.
does it work?
So the for those who do not know, the authority it is a rotating membership,
Hmm.
but the main two members of the authority is Midnighter and Apollo,
Yeah,
which is kind of they're both fan fictions of Superman and Batman
so funny.
because they are together. And Midnighter is a over the top violent Batman, and Apollo is in the same boat. He's an over the top violent Superman.
Yeah,
And then they also have Manchester Black, which
yeah.
was an earlier villain of Superman's.
I like
Um,
Manchester Black's character.
yeah,
I think he's
and
interesting.
if I can pull it up right here, hold on a second. I
I believe
believe
in you. You can do it. Use them
actually,
search skills.
oop, I cannot spell comics.
It's spelled with an X.
Got it. Got you. Uh,
It's
Action comic.
Action Comics, actually. Excuse me.
And I don't want to spoil the whole thing for you. So that those are just the key points.
It's like the big things.
Yeah. Where is it?
I mean, that's kind of crazy though.
Yeah,
It's
he's
like,
also going with Steel.
yo,
Not Steel. I don't know her name. His daughter.
oh, cool. I think she
Yeah.
also goes by Steel.
And
At
then
least at one point she did.
there's also three other members that I do not recognize. I don't recognize two of them. I do think the other one though is Enchantress.
All right. You know, that's an interesting team. I'm kind of curious to see just how that plays out.
Yeah, and then they kind of they poke fun at them leaving the planet to go to War World. And it's like I feel like this is a time for a catchphrase. Does anybody have a good catchphrase before we leave? Um, and then Manchester Black is the first one to call her. I was like, "What the fuck you mean a catchphrase? What do you think this is? A game?" And then Steele is the one who says "up, up," and then they go away. Yeah, looking at it now, it does look like Enchantress, who's also part of the lineup, and she's also part of the lineup of Superman and the Authority. No, the issues that have been coming out.
Yeah, the series. It's funny to me that they went that way because I think in Superman and the Authority they talked about Superman like he was like I didn't get it right the first time with the Justice League,
Hmm.
but it didn't like ever like make mention that the Authority is something that Superman tried to like make work before.
Yeah.
So that's actually really surprising to me.
And then Justice League issue number 68 also tied into this, where
I
Clark is
had to.
leaving. Clark is leaving, and the entire Justice League is like, "Hey, we can't go with you. If you give it a month, we can go with you, but we can't go right now." And Superman's like, I'm leaving right now."
Nah, I'm dead. Bye.
And then they all leave, and Batman is the last one to uh to stay. Like I don't know. I guess he sneaks away from the Justice League while they're all having this meeting. And then
That it's sad.
him and Superman have a conversation together about what's going on. And he says something that, you know, I didn't think Superman and the Authority, the separate series, is going to be tied together with this, but
It seems like
it
it might be
it looks like they're linked in some way.
like it's canon,
Um,
maybe.
Maybe.
I mean, it's far in the future, not too far, but like far.
Hold on one second. Bu- 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 bu.
I'm I'm kind of excited to see like an Earth without Clark Kent. There's something about like the fact that Jonathan Kent is Superman has actually made me more interested in Clark Kent now
Mhm.
than I was before because I like Superman. Superman is a character that I can read every once in a while. Like I'll get into like a run if it's like especially like interesting. Like people are like, oh, this run is like different and you know it's changing things
Yeah.
up. Like I'll go and read that. But
And I just found the panel. It was
yeah,
my bad. It was also in Action Comics. But Batman just kind of looks at him. He's like, I don't know how you're doing it. I don't know how you're masking it or whatever. But we both know your power levels are dropping.
yeah, because Superman has been infected with this thing
Yeah,
from another
the,
dimension.
the Genesis fragment.
Yeah, so Superman has like there was like a thing where they were like maybe Superman would be slowly dying.
Yeah, and then Batman is just like Superman tells Batman, "Hey, that thing I say about not coming after me, that extends to you too." Because for all their faults and like as much as they want to look at each other as being co-workers or whatever,
They're brothers.
they are like best friends.
Yeah.
And then Bruce is also kind of caught off guard, and he's like, "Yeah, I just got intel that you have a team in place." And then Superman's like, "I do." And then he's like, "Tell me about the team." And then it's going to be continued in Batman, Superman, and the Authority issue number 1.
What a crazy. Is that like gonna be like just a one shot?
I have no idea.
It's gotta be, right? It's gotta be just like a kickoff.
Listen, anything that says number 1 on it, I have to assume there's going to be more.
Yeah, I mean, we're in a wild time right now. All right, that mostly covers the Superman stuff. You want to talk Big B or Robin?
Um, you talk about Robin.
Okay. So this week's Robin, the tournament proper has started, and we're kind of getting these hints that not everything is what it seems.
Hmm.
Where Damien, for just to be very clear, Damien murks like two people in the time that it takes like most contestants to do one round of combat. Um, like he's done. Like they start like kind of like a bracketed tournament. Damien just immediately kills two people, and it's like great, and he can because it's a Lazarus pit thing. Like they come back to life.
Hmm.
Um, but you see that happen, and he gets his manga back from I can't remember what her name is. Heartstopper, maybe.
Um,
Do you like it's the skeleton like paint face
yeah,
girl?
I know what you're talking about.
I just cannot remember her name for the life of me. That's my only real issue right now with the series. Like there are so many characters that they're introducing that I'm like I cannot keep track of the names. Thankfully they show them on like every other page. But yeah, we're kind of like going into like the beginning of the end of the tournament arc, I think,
Hmm.
where it's definitely they definitely want only one person to survive, but it seems like that one person might not get immortality. Uh, at least to me, it's looking like they're like trying to resurrect a demon of some kind.
Yeah, and like it's also one of those quick things where it's like, okay, they're not resurrecting Raish. Raish is like on the
He's
next
alive.
island.
Yeah, he's literally alive. I was thinking I mean, Trigon is defeated, but that seems like it would be kind of weird for them to do Trigon here.
Her name is Flatline.
Flatline, interesting character. I actually really like her. But you know, we're getting like a lot of cool characters. Like we got Hawk, we got Flatline, Ravenger's in it. We
Yeah,
got a kind of Deadpool copycat,
yeah, Respawn.
Respawn, which I don't know. Damien's fighting him right now. That's how it ends. That's how the issue ends. But
And like he opens up, like he took advantage of the kick that Respawn gave him to swipe the big book,
yeah,
and he was in the middle of reading it. He's like, he knows who Mother Soul really is, and he's like, nah, that's impossible. Which is like, now I'm just more confused on who she could really be.
is I was about to say, but here's the thing: Talia is alive, and we know where Talia is.
Yeah, so
Talia's working with the
Leviathan, no, not Leviathan. Checkmate.
no, not even them. She's working. She's all, I guess also checkmate, but she's part of the ah. It's that group that is villains and heroes working together.
Oh, Infinity Watch.
No.
The group that works in the old Justice League satellite thing.
Yeah, it's like the new they exist outside of like the dimensions. Like they exist in like a frequency that is halfway through. It's not important. We'll figure it out. But it can't be her. Like that was my immediate thought. It's like, what is it, Tally? Like that seems too easy.
Could it be Talia's sister,
Ooh,
Nissa Al Ghul?
that'd be that'd be interesting.
Like I'm not sure of the canon on Nissa because the only thing that comes to mind are the Arkham games when she was like in it.
Yeah, I'm not sure where she is right now. I guess is the thing.
Um,
So it could be. I don't know. It could be a completely new character. What I like about this Robin series is it's focusing on Damien and his like grief over Alfred a little bit, but
yeah, like
also it's giving us a good mystery.
the little panel where you get Alfred saying, "I like this one." He's like Pennyworth.
She
Um,
goes, "You're haunted, aren't you?" It's like,
which
yeah,
which leaves which gives more credit to the future of Damien
yeah,
and like how he leans more towards the supernatural side of shit
yeah,
because he in a possible future he's known as the Batman of Bethlehem, and he's
yeah.
basically he is Batman, but he sold his soul to be Batman, like to be powerful and not he doesn't die. And then
It's but here are you? We're talking about the uh Batman Urban Legends like side story, right?
I mean, he had a few issues on his own.
Yeah, I'm thinking about that, like though, because I know that it's also like its own thing, but in that side story, can we just talk about that for a second? Because it was really weird how it ended with
Yeah.
him getting like it's like I want you to bring the Joker back, and it's like Damien's main villain has never been the Joker,
Mhm.
so it was like this feels like kind of a weird desire, Damien.
I'm
Kind of a
refresh my memory about
kind of a
that one.
weird thing. It's like the last panel is like he's like, I want something. I want like it's like Damien kind of just wants prey. I guess is the idea, but he chooses the Joker, and I'm like, that doesn't make sense. Like of all the people,
Yeah, Gotham City restricted zone, and like he does call his cat Pennyworth.
yeah,
And in another version of this, the cat is possessed by the spirit of Alfred. I don't think it's this exact one.
yeah. So sad. It's all sad. When it comes to like the whole Alfred stuff, it's very sad. You know.
And it doesn't look like he sold his soul to get Joker,
No,
but to bring Joker back. I think
he,
it was just to find Joker.
he had already sold his soul at this. Like it was like he basically said his soul is worth more now
Yeah,
than
and
it was originally,
he
so he
wants to
wanted to
borrow
borrow against
against
it.
it.
Um, but I don't know. The implication to me that it seemed like it was like, oh, I want something. It's like the Joker. And it's like even I don't know. Just having Damien fight the Joker is weird because it's like what? Why does Damien care about the Joker? Anyway, it's not important. Robbins is cool. You should check it out if you haven't yet. We've talked about it a couple times. Like,
Um, and then, did you read Batman Superman number 22?
no, I haven't been reading Batman Superman. I can't go back.
Like it this the past issue was pretty funny, I would
Yeah.
say, because Mr. Mitzelplixic gave his power of the 4D realm of like knowing everything to Calendar Man. Yeah, and then Calendar Man used it to learn Bruce Wayne was Batman. And all this like some really weird shit. Like he goes outside of the panel boxes to hit them.
What an amazing character to choose for that. Yeah. Calendar Man,
Um,
obviously who I would choose.
yeah, so he goes out of the panel to hit them over the head and like try to and he's winning against the both of them. But because it's like just a really short issue, they win, and then his Calendar Man's arm gets ripped off because the panel gets cut short.
I don't know. Who's writing Batman Superman? Isn't it like I thought it was canceled at this point. Like, isn't it almost over?
Jean Luen Yang
I don't
has
know.
been the writer.
I don't know what's going on.
I don't know either. But it was just a fun little issue to read.
I
Um,
might have to go check it out just for that, just for the novelty of Calendar Man.
and I
That's
think that's it for DC for last week.
no,
Oh, and then Deathstroke Incorporated number one.
Deathstroke Incorporated and Batman versus Big B. I actually want to talk about it a little bit.
Oh yeah, that's my bad. Yeah, so Deathstroke Incorporated, we see Deathstroke working for the good guys, and Deathstroke Incorporated
Yeah,
looks like it's gonna be his like good guy shtick.
yeah. Basically he says it in like the comic. He goes, "Hey, this is my me attempting to be a hero. Like I owe that to my family. Like kind of deal. Like hey,
Yeah,
I've ridden the middle line for so long, hero, villain. It's time for me to choose. Let's see if this one sticks."
yeah.
Um,
No, it's interesting where that one is. But yeah, Batman and Bigby. It was interesting.
it was really interesting, especially how they like wrote Batman because Batman's fucking brutal in this one.
Yeah, and like I don't. It threw me off that all of them are just dressed as Robin.
I thought that was like the most interesting part. I was like, oh, they're all Robin.
Yeah, because it's the ones we get introduced to right off the bat were Tim Drake and Stephanie Brown. But then there was another two in the background.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not quite sure which two those are.
No, there was only three. It was Tim Drake and Stephanie Brown. I think were the ones that came after. I think Dick Grayson was the first one that was there.
No, that was Tim.
He didn't say Tim. Like I assumed that that was Dick Grayson, and then Stephanie Brown and Tim Drake showed up. Because he has more of a classic Dick Grayson kind of style to him.
Was it Dick Grayson?
Yeah. The way I'm viewing this entire issue is
Oh no,
that it's
it was Dick.
yeah. I'm viewing this entire issue as it is not the it's not uh Fables in the DC universe. It's DC in the Fables universe. If that
Which
makes
like
sense.
it definitely does, and like that makes it more interesting.
Yeah. Like if you were like, what happens if the big bad wolf comes to Gotham like how it is? It's like that's not what this is.
No, it's like they are in the Fable universe. Both of them are in this universe where these stories of Pinocchio, the Big Bad Wolf, and the Three Little Pigs, Cinderella, and all of it. They are now refugees from their original world on Earth.
Yeah, they live in New York.
And then I guess Bigby is chasing another wolf.
I I don't know. It's hard to tell what's going on there because it really just seems like Bigby is the wolf, and he might be like he's definitely hunting something down. It's a
Mm,
question of whether he was doing like the murdering or
mm.
not, because that's not outside of his character to like
I,
kill the bad guys. You know?
I also don't think that it's Bigby per se,
Yeah, I think it could be either way.
because it could also be because I'm thinking about because after reading Fables, I'm thinking about like the other wolf characters in the series. There's not many that aren't related to Bigby.
Yeah,
And I think that was like the whole like crux of Bigby's character, like that these wolves in mythology are from his genealogy.
yeah. It's
Uh,
it's
it's
definitely
definitely
interesting.
interesting to read, though.
Yeah, like if you're and it's a black label comic, which means it's like gonna be have more adult tones and themes, and you're gonna get a darker overall story from it, which
With
I like. I think it's great for this season, like this Halloween season. You know what I mean? It
oh
strikes me as
yeah,
the perfect like story for around this time.
and
Um,
it was definitely a good read, and I wasn't expecting it to be that good.
yeah, and it's long.
Mm-hmm.
It's like it was like what 25, maybe 30 pages.
I think it was 28 pages.
Yeah, it was a decent like length. It's a bit thicker. The covers are cool.
Mhm.
I picked up two of them
Nice.
because I'm gonna box one of these.
Uh,
Yeah.
and then is that it for DC?
I mean, I think so. Like DC had a really to me this was a very strong week.
Yeah.
Like I really enjoyed everything I read. I to the point where I was like, okay, I'm gonna go back and I'm gonna like read Batgirl because
Mm-hmm. Okay.
I feel like I'm missing something here
Mm-hmm.
when I read Nightwing, when like his and Barbara's relationship, it's changed in a way that like I want to see what happened.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and I've also gone back recently and I started reading Kamala Khan, Miss
Okay.
Marvel,
All right.
because I was like, I know that she's got a series coming up, and I
Brush
want
up
to,
on your knowledge.
yeah, brush up on my knowledge a bit.
I want for that series. I want to go in completely blind.
Hmm.
The only bits about Kamala Khan that I've read has been her in Champions.
Sure.
And like I don't know, I just want to watch it because my main issue with certain series like Loki, the Hawkeye series coming out, Daredevil, Luke Cage, or whatever, that I've read all of their individual comics, and I can't. I know I'm supposed to. I can't separate the comic from this because I'll look at it. I'm like, that's not.
It's not accurate.
Yeah, because like my
No.
main gripe about the Avengers movies is Ultron. Like Ultron has never been Tony's and Bruce's baby. No, that the whole crux of Ultron is that he is Hank Pym's son.
Yeah. But they hadn't
And
introduced Hank Pym yet.
yeah, it's it was it's just one of those things where I know why they did it, and it makes sense the way they did it. It just upsets me, regardless.
You have too much knowledge rolling around in your head about it
Yeah,
to separate it.
absolutely.
I get it. I do the same thing when I watch, especially when I watch like Batman properties.
Hmm.
Like I have a similar thing. Like I can usually get away from it because to me every even like every new run of Batman is something different.
Yeah,
That's how I always think about it. Like every new run by a new writer is just a fucking different iteration of the character anyway.
hmm,
So I've always been able to separate it a bit more easily, but when you're dealing with more major media consumption, I guess it's a little harder because you know especially with the MCU, with the way things are so intertwined, you know
yeah,
that they're never gonna get like back to exactly like the comic books in any way
yeah.
because they
Unless like
can't.
they do like a full reset, which
Yeah,
I don't think they'd ever do.
I think that the X-Men might have like the best chance of getting,
As comic book accuracy.
yeah, at least at the beginning. But
Hmm.
I mean, I don't know. I don't know. I don't even know if that's what people actually want.
It's what I want.
It's what it's. I think it's what people like you and me might want. But I
I know
mean,
we'll just have to see what.
we are a small
What
demographic of the people who watch those movies.
oh yeah.
Yeah.
We'll just have to wait and see what they bring forward as the MCU goes forward, as well as the DC EU. Um,
Is that
DC.
going forward?
I'm looking forward to Batman.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to the Flash one.
Yeah,
There are movies coming out that I'm excited for,
yeah,
but
I'm looking forward to Flashpoint because we're getting Michael Keaton's Batman again,
maybe we'll get
as
a
Old
bit of a
Man
reboot.
Batman. And we're getting Supergirl from some timeline, the Injustice timeline.
Yeah,
Um,
I'll say this: I like the casting for
yeah.
Supergirl. I mean,
And then also
when did we last have a brunette Supergirl?
Never.
Well, at one
Has it
time.
been that? I mean, yeah, that one time. And then also the Injustice animated movie coming out.
There's a lot of like, I mean, DC does animated like no one else.
You know, DC animated, like Marvel can't hold a candle
Not
to.
even close. Like,
Like I thought that they were even in the early 2000s when Marvel was releasing like Planet Hulk, Wolverine versus Hulk,
yeah, but the quality
Thor.
isn't like, it's not the same.
Yeah, and like just I don't know, they Marvel never picked up steam or they didn't continue to move forward with the animated properties. And I think that's because of the popularity of
Live action, yeah,
their movies. Like
it makes
DC
sense.
definitely knows its strengths and animated is one of them. And they just need to get live action into that same not like Marvel level, but
Yeah,
hopefully to a safer level than it has been.
I think we've talked about it before, but if DC was smart, they would take all their shows that worked and all their movies that worked and just make one universe.
Hmm.
Like, there are some of the CW shows work really well for those characters.
Like Arrow.
Arrow was like a great reimagining of Oliver Queen.
Hmm.
If you were like, if you had a cameo for him in a movie, would have been great. But there's not enough collaboration between those two teams, like
Yeah,
the big screen and the small screen teams. Like,
like even
the
the Superman
Flash
and
one was like crazy.
like even the Superman and Lois TV show that came out on the CW this year has been really good.
Yeah, I've heard that a lot. I need to watch it.
Yeah, because it's for those who haven't seen it, it's Lois and Superman. They're married. They live in Smallville, but they also have two twin boys.
Yeah, I like the CW Superman too.
Hmm.
I think he's done a really good job. Tyler Conklin?
Something like that.
Yeah, something like that. He's done a really good job. I like the cast for Lois Lane. I mean, you know, it works.
Yeah. And then getting back to the
Let's talk
weekly
about
part.
Marvel.
So
Drop some Marvel on us. Sorry.
Thor number 17 came out, and someone has stolen Mjolnir
Ow.
because it no longer has the enchantment on it.
Oh shit.
Yeah, so all of Odin's old enchantments, like the main one, was like he, whoever should be worthy, can lift up this hammer and gain the power of Thor. That enchantment is now gone.
So fucking silly.
So, but like, I also don't know what that means when it comes to the like the hammer has like the god storm in it,
Yeah.
regardless. So you'd be able to throw lightning and do Thor shit. But I think it was the enchantment itself that turned, like, for instance, Jane Foster into
Yeah.
blonde Thor. I think it was the enchantment itself, like, because like when you in the Marvel universe, when you're playing with magic, you have to be very careful with your words.
That's how I read it. Then
Yeah,
it was
so
like the enchantment like turned her into Thor.
yeah, so
That's
now
why
I
she
just think
talked different.
yeah, and I think now it's just an all powerful hammer. Hold on one second. I'm gonna turn on the light.
Sure, yeah. It got dark. It got progressively darker. We have Cisco here in his new office. Fantastic. What a wonderful thing.
Um,
Quite a beautiful
it's
space.
Thor is no longer he no longer wields Mjolnir because he's like Mjolnir is a warrior's weapon. I am now a king.
Yeah.
And then there was another like little bit of a family bonding, if you want to call it that, between Odin, Freya, and Angela, his sister.
Am I
Do you
so
not know?
out? Am I so out of like the mythos that
Do
I
you
don't
not know
know?
who
I
Angela
don't know who
is?
the fuck that is.
So Angela is Odin's firstborn.
Wait, is she like? She's not like the death.
No,
No.
no. In the Marvel comics, it's more closely related to Norse mythology,
Yeah.
where Hela is Loki's daughter.
Yeah. I just
Um,
don't know.
Angela Angela is both his and Freya's firstborn daughter, who they thought was dead because this is when they were at war with heaven, and so the angels, not the Christian angels, but like the otherworldly angels, literally
Chris
otherworldly.
Angel. Yeah.
They
They're at
they
war
took
with Chris Angel.
they took Angela and they raised her to be in a weapon against the Asgardians.
Wait, I actually do know who Angela is.
Yeah,
Vaguely.
she has red hair. She has like all
Yes.
these like swirling things around her.
Yes. Okay.
Yeah, so Angela, who like her last name has been retconned to Odin's daughter.
Within Stooter.
She kind of looks at Thor and she's like, "Yeah, get your shit together, or I'm taking the throne from you." And he just kind of looks at her like, "The fuck are you talking about?"
Girl boss
And
energy. Watch out.
and she's like, "I know how the customs work, second born." And it's like, oh, because like it is a line of succession, and she is the firstborn. She would if she wanted it.
Uh huh.
The throne is technically hers,
I mean, she's talking a lot of shit.
and she can back it up. But yeah, so Thor is like going through like a crisis of faith in himself, which is like the crux of who Thor is in the comics.
Yeah.
But like that also makes him worthy of being who he is because he doubts himself as a god.
Yeah. I think that's an interesting point to make, though. Like, there is no like real confidence without doubt,
Mm-hmm.
right? Like, if you are fully confident all the time, then it's meaningless,
Yep.
right? Like, you have to. If you don't doubt yourself, then your confidence is not earned.
Mm-hmm. And like that's a good arc that Thor has gone throughout the years,
Yeah.
especially with Gore the God Butcher, and then Thor the Unworthy, and then the process of him being worthy again was really wonderful to see.
Man, I love Thor the
Um,
Unworthy so much.
um, yeah, so Thor is going to be finding out who took Mjolnir, and he's going to Asgard's best detective, Throg.
Uh, huh?
Yep, you heard me, Throg.
Did I hear you? Because what that sound? It sounded like you said Throg, but
Yeah,
that can't be right. That it's too dumb.
Throg.
Throg.
Yeah, that's where it
Okay.
left off. Um, and then in a bit of Spider-Man news,
Yeah.
Spider-Man number 74 came out.
Yeah.
And like he just won his latest battle with Kindred, Demon, whatever. And the whole time it's been Mephisto.
Of course.
Yeah, it's been Mephisto fucking with Spider-Man and trying to get him off the board.
This fucking
Um,
Mephisto.
and then the entire time of this issue, it's Mephisto and Doctor Strange playing poker. Because Mephisto is now has been relocated to Las Vegas.
That fits.
Because he's no longer the king of hell. Johnny
Yes.
Blaze is the king of hell.
But you said he was in Las Vegas.
Yeah. Oh,
Yes.
how?
So he's the king of hell.
But Doctor Strange has had Mephisto trapped in a casino, with magic or whatever, and they're playing for souls. Doctor Strange bets his on Spider-Man. And then Mephisto is Mephisto, and he's like, "Oh, I kind of lied by not saying something." And the Doctor Strange is like, "Oh yeah, no, me too. You have two champions, and I never said I only have one." With Doctor Strange's champions being Spider-Man and Mary Jane. And then at the end of the issue, Doctor Strange is kind of like, he's like, "Why the hell are you so focused on Spider-Man? Like, what's the deal with Spider-Man?"
I want his marriage back.
Um, so in a really cool sort of way, Mephisto kind of goes, "Well, I know how my future is. I take over the world. I kill the Avengers. I kill the heroes. But there's one person who stops me from achieving my goal, and it's Spider-Man."
Of all like the mystical characters that you could choose from
Spider-Man.
in Marvel, it goes no 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 Spider Man.
Yep, and then Doctor Strange kind of looks at him like, "Spider-Man, like."
What are you, an idiot?
Um, and then he calls him out on his shit, and he's like, "No, it's never just been about Spider-Man. It's been about the people in Spider-Man's life too." And he's like, "Yeah, I guess I just want to clear off the entire board because And then in the separate panel that issues like the same one with Spider-Man stopping him, it's his daughter,
Spider Man's daughter?
Spider-Man's daughter.
Oh! Ooh.
So that's why he's always targeting Spider-Man and Mary Jane.
Ooh.
And this kind of goes back to One More Day, where
You
he,
retconning to one more day making more sense?
yes,
Okay. I'm fine with it. I'm always fine with like a retcon that makes it make more sense.
yeah. So they brought it back to that, and it was like, okay, cool. That's why he did all this extra bullshit, and it's because either Spider-Man or his daughter stops him.
That's fucking stupid. I love it.
Yeah, so it's like it's either Spider-Man without Mary Jane stops him, or Spider-Man and Mary Jane get together and then their daughter stops him.
Mephisto can't fucking win.
No, and then this just goes again in my little. This is another feather in my cap of Spider-Man being the greatest Marvel hero in the future.
I mean, yeah,
Um, and then another like side thing, Miles Morales' new suit is pretty banger.
yeah.
And then also, we just got Inferno #1 for the X-Men.
Okay. So you said it. You or I don't know if we were talking about this before the show started or at the beginning, but you brought up that it's shaking up X Men in a new way that you're enjoying.
Yeah, because
How's it shaking it up?
for people who haven't been reading X-Men, um, the X-Men have kind of killed mortality. So none of them can ever really die. Their brainwaves get downloaded into Cerebro, and then through a process involving four other mutants, um, gold balls, which like I think we've talked about it before. But like his gold
You're
balls that shot out of his head are really eggs.
well, yes, Gold Balls is a great
Yeah.
name for a character.
And then I can't remember the other. They're known colloquially as the Four.
Yeah, so if they die, then the mutants can die, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Um, and this is
Loophole.
all due to Moira McTaggart, who has been a mutant who has been in the X-Men universe for a long time. She's been a lover of Professor X. She's been an enemy of the X-Men. She's been a friend of the X-Men. And she is a mutant with the power of reincarnation. So she goes through her life, dies, and then is born again the year she was born, as always, with the information from her past life.
She wait. Hold up. She's so it's kind of like she's not getting like reincarnated. She gets looped.
Yeah,
So it's like a time loop kind of deal.
kind of.
Where she's not like getting reborn in the present day. She goes back in time and gets born again.
In the 60s, yeah.
Okay, yes. Okay. Okay, so it does not matter for her. Nothing
No,
matters for her.
nothing matters for her.
She can never really lose.
She can never really lose 10 times.
Oh, so eventually she's gonna die.
Yeah. So
What time is she on?
she is on her eighth or ninth
How does she know 10 times?
because she remembers each of the lives.
Yes, but how does she know that she can only
So that's another
live
thing
ten
that
times?
came out with Inferno.
Oh, fantastic! Oh,
So she's the one who gave the X-Men this idea of killing mortality, and then stopping all the threats for mutants. That goes with the Sentinels, um,
evangelicals.
the evangelicals,
Yeah, you're right. That is how you say it.
um, there's a few other groups that are constantly against the X Men, and a few new ones. Like there's like a group of like old women, like they're all in their 70s to 80s who don't like mutants.
Listen, old women, very scary.
Yeah, they're called the League of Karens. Um, I'm making that up,
I
but they should
know,
be.
but it's really funny.
Um, and the reason why Moira is doing this because she's seen all the alternatives. She has seen Apocalypse lay waste to the earth. She's seen the Sentinels take over. She's seen Nimrod take over. She's lived through all like 8 or 9 different scenarios, and she's kind of tired of it. So she's like, "The mutants never won. Let's make sure the mutants win this time."
I kind of love the plot line of hey, I'm like I live forever, so I'm exhausted and bored. Like
Yeah,
I'm just gonna change things up right now. Just not because of any like kind of moral thing or any kind of hey, I want to do the right thing. It's just because I just I want something different to happen.
yeah. So with her made changes to the universe, that's where we get this new Krakoa island, and then the mutants populating Mars.
Yeah.
And then her only like few rules was that they don't deviate from this path, and then they don't bring any mutant who can see the future. Very weird and very shady.
Very specific.
And the specific mutant she's talking about is Destiny,
Yeah.
who is Mystique's wife. And Mystique, throughout the series of the X-Men, has been pleading with the Council, bring back Destiny, bring back Destiny, bring back Destiny. And they kept telling her no. So, and the reason why is because Destiny hates Moira. Because she squandered, like, the time they met was when Moira was curing being a mutant.
Yeah.
And she was like, yeah, no, now I know what to look for. A person who doesn't have a set future. So no matter where you are in the world, I can find you now.
That's so
And
fucking catty.
like, and it was really I'm doing the story no favors the way I'm explaining to it. But she goes on this whole tangent where she's like, you have to do better for being a mutant, you have to do better for our kind. And she's like, I'm only offering the cure for people who want it. And she was like, you're fucking stupid. No, the mutant's gonna take the military is gonna take this and shoot us with this. Um, and then she she burns Moira alive the slowest way possible to make sure she remembers in her next life. And she says it so that so that you remember how this pain feels.
That's scary.
And so for these reasons, Moira didn't want Destiny to be brought back. And the council was doing their part to make sure that this also didn't happen. Um, and so there are 3 seats on the council open because for one reason or another, a few people left. Like in the issue, Cyclops leaves the council. I don't remember the exact reason why, but he does. And then they're having a meeting on seeing like, oh, who's gonna fill the seat or whatever. And then Mystique is like, oh, I have somebody. You guys weren't bringing it to the table. I brought it to the table. And then Destiny walks through the door. And then that's how the issue ended.
That's fucking wild.
And so I'm looking forward to seeing Destiny dismantle what the X-Men have. Or not dismantle what they have, but reveal the bigger holes in their plan that they got off of Moira.
Hell, that's dope.
If like you should definitely like not like get heavily involved in the X-Men, the newest run. But
I'll pick
like
it up.
like
if,
just
if,
just just to know like where they are with things.
if you would like to talk about it every week, I will start picking it up. Let's put it that way. Because
Okay.
why not? It's just another thing to add to the list.
Yeah, and like I'm just looking forward to them fucking shit up.
Yeah. Fuck
Because
yeah.
they had the Hellfire Gala, which was an alright thing. Um and then next week we're getting the Trial of Magneto issue number 3 or 4. Um which is also really weird. Because with that one they're taking Scarlet Witch's power up a scale.
How?
Where to the point where she can't die. But she's like, okay, you killed me in this reality, but in some other timeline of this reality, I am alive, and I'm gonna pull my body from there here.
Feels like something she could always. That doesn't feel like outside the realm of Scarlet
Yeah,
Witch.
I
Nothing feels
mean,
outside the realm of Scarlet Witch. That's the issue with her character. Like, you know,
oh yeah,
it's like we talk about sometimes in comic book nerds, we'll talk about like characters that are OP to the point where it's
Mhm.
like you could write them into any story and like they would immediately break it. Scarlet Witch is one of those characters
Yeah,
where
where
it's like,
you have to constantly nerf her to be in
yeah,
your story.
we're at the point if you give Scarlet Witch like the full powers that she's shown to have previously, like the story that you're writing is impossible.
Yeah, like the only like I remember her being in Avengers versus X-Men,
Yeah,
and she was just dealing with PTSD from M Day when she said no more mutants,
yeah.
and then she got her memory back, but she didn't get her full powers back, and then it was like, oh, she has her full powers, but she's guilt ridden and anxiety ridden about using these powers.
It's a psychological thing.
Yeah, and like from there, she's kind of been in that same loop, and like everybody has made it a fucking point to be like, "Hey, shut the fuck up. I don't
Hey,
care what your 2 cents in this issue. They don't matter. M Day, fuck you."
I mean, yeah. Ugh, fuck. No, I've been thinking this for a while. You and me should set up like a full list that we just both like look at and be like, okay, this is what we'll read.
Hmm.
Just so like we can talk about all this stuff. Because
Yeah, that's a good idea.
I read DC all the time. I read Marvel intermittently.
Hmm.
So if you have series that you want to talk about every week, I should just start reading them.
Okay, that sounds like a good
I
idea.
should just start reading them.
All right, no, number one on that list is Thor.
I can tell. You've been raving about Thor for a while now.
That's because like the writers on Thor, pulling up his name right now, Donny Cates,
Yeah,
has just been fucking killing it.
Yates is a good writer.
Donny Cates, and then along with like Michael Bandini as the artist for the book. They just do really great work together. Um, and then Thor: God of Thunder, that series that ran in 2014. Ever since I picked that up in 2014, I went back to the 90s and read that Thor series. Read him going through Ragnarok and him breaking the cycle of Ragnarok
Yeah,
to get to the 2008 Thor run because he was gone. I didn't know that. He
yeah,
was gone for like 10 years.
yeah. It's I had a similar thing. It's why I read all of Wally West stuff. Like not just like the more modern like Jeff Johns run
Mhm.
and the Mark Wade run, but the runs like immediately starting after Barry Allen died.
Yeah, and like he takes over the mantle.
Yeah. Also because they were just available in the DC library subscription thing that they have, like
Mhm.
the DC Universe, DC Unlimited.
Yeah, I know what
Like
you're
they
talking
just
about.
had them. They had all those issues. Like if you want to get into like comic book history and you're into like and you're talking about like DC stuff, there's not a lot that's not there.
Mhm.
So that's it's worth like getting it for like a month and like going, hey, this is. But is there anything else Marvel that you want to talk about? 'Cause I have another topic that maybe we could broach since we have a little bit of time. I would say.
No, that's pretty much it. Next week, just looking again forward to Dark Ages number 2.
Yeah, it's very
Um,
exciting.
yeah, looking forward to that. Avengers has my attention a little bit. Not so much that because I'm like, oh, Avengers, great comic, reading it
Assemble.
right now. No, it's like I want to see how they fuck up.
How they fuck up Avengers, or how
Yeah,
the Avengers fuck up.
not how they fuck up Avengers.
Man,
Because
that's
like
rough.
I all credit to up until this point. But like I do not like that they're rehashing World War Hulk.
Yeah.
Like it was great when they initially did it in like 2009, 2010. It was great. they should have left it off as that one off with Bruce and the Hulk coming down on Earth and its heroes. Like that kind of like retribution for the Hulk was amazing for that character. And then they kind of beat it over the head with Totally Awesome Hulk when he had his Planet Hulk run.
Yeah.
It was fucking stupid.
He was totally awesome, dude.
Yeah, and then now they have World War She-Hulk, which is like, okay, no, none of these other two Hulks have the history of reasons to do what they're doing. Like right now, like yes, She-Hulk is being manipulated by the Red Room from Russia, but it's like to call it World War She-Hulk, they shouldn't have done that.
Sure.
And yeah, that's pretty much it for me with Marvel.
Yeah.
There are certain other issues that have my attention, but I'll bring them up
As they come out.
as they come out. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, since we went through like a lot of that pretty fast, um, I was thinking maybe we could talk a bit, if you've watched it, about Why the Last Man.
I have not watched past the third episode
Gosh,
because I am waiting for there to be like another three or four so that I can binge watch them.
So on Monday, when
Yeah.
it's episode 6.
Yeah.
Yeah. I've been watching them. They I'll just say this. This is not a spoiler. The casting for Allison Mann is fucking amazing.
Oh, so they cast the doctor?
Yeah.
Oh, hey, who is it?
I don't actually recognize the actress, but she kills it. The way that she plays the character is not exactly like the comics, like none of them are,
Mm-hmm.
but this kind of like neurotic, like I'm a highly intelligent person.
Diana
Like
Bang.
there's that element of I'm highly intelligent. My social skills are
Yeah.
okay. They're like they're not like the worst, but like they're like I don't really give a shit about what you think.
Mhm.
Like kind of thing. Like they really cast her really well. Like
You know,
they and wrote her really well.
her name is Diana Bang.
Mm. What else has
And
she been in?
have you seen the interview?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
The movie where they kill Kim Jong Un at the
yeah,
end.
she's the North Korean girl who like defects.
Oh my god! I would have never like realized that.
Mm-hmm.
That's just like
All right, so tomorrow I'm gonna binge watch the 3 episodes, and then we can talk about it this coming Sunday.
yeah. We can talk about this coming Sunday. Have you been keeping up with Marvel? What if?
Yes.
Yes. Okay. Then let's touch on real quick what you thought of this past episode. Spoilers for Marvel What If. If you're not watching it, you're not watching it. I'm sorry. Um,
Yeah, no, that is a bullet you're gonna have to bite.
yeah.
Holy shit, that episode was fucking good.
Yeah, it was really good, right? Like, I was like, oh, when he cuts Thanos in half with his brain,
Mm-hmm.
like, I was like, that might as well happen, yeah.
It's like, why? And then it's like,
That could have
y'all,
happened.
y'all could have used Vision in this fight, and you didn't.
Exactly. That's what I
Um,
was thinking. I was like, why is that okay? Because it didn't, I wasn't, like, my immediate reaction wasn't like, this is bad. Why, that would never happen. It was like, that could easily happen. Why didn't it happen?
yeah, and
The
just
movies got it wrong.
Ultron taking over, and then getting Vision's body, and then being the two last people being Hawkeye and Black Widow.
Yeah.
It was really great. I loved the callback to Endgame where
Yeah.
they have like that whole let me go blah blah blah.
I immediately said that and I'm like, oh, they switched it. You know,
Um,
his scene,
I,
like where he's like going down into all the robots flying up at him,
mm,
it's so beautiful.
like and like that is the Hawkeye that I hope we're getting for the series, but
Yeah.
also it's the one that I really wish we got in the movies.
You know what's fucked up? I looked at Ion after that happened, and I said, "Man, I wish I cared about Hawkeye." I still don't give a shit. Like
Hey,
little dog,
dog.
the dog.
And you just see the
But
door just
the
like
door, yeah.
open
The whenever the door's been like getting hit every once in a while, and I'm like, "There's a dog down there."
in him.
To them, but yeah,
And then
man,
it was also funny that when he went invisible, the only thing that didn't turn invisible was the arm.
yeah, it's good.
And then yeah, go ahead.
I was just gonna say, I thought the arm thing was a nice touch.
And then Uatu getting like because like throughout the series of What If, you just kind of see him come in more into frame as the
Yeah,
episodes go along. And I think what was the episode before this? Was it Bro Thor?
yeah, it was Thor having a party.
But it was like
Great episode too. I really enjoyed that one.
who heard Uatu?
Doctor Strange.
Yeah, so it was like that kind of like okay, he's
It
getting
was
more and
teasing it,
more. Yeah, where he's like getting more and more.
aware of the different dimensions of reality.
Not only that, but like he's becoming more. Uatu himself is becoming more ingrained into these universes where
Yeah,
the beings in them are noticing him.
I I loved how he was narrating what was happening as like he was being noticed, and it's like, and then he looks and he hears this beat, and he turns around, and oh, and then he runs and
He
gets scared.
narrates. He narrates Ultron finding him, and he's like, "Oh, wait! Let me stop talking."
Oh no 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 no! Like it's so funny, but like
Mhm.
also like it's just a cool moment because it's like you can tell that that's what's about to happen. Like it's not like a big stretch if you, especially when you watch like the Thor episode, you know that he's gonna come from different dimension, like
Yeah.
and go, hey, I'm here now. I'm taking over like these infinite worlds. Um,
Um, and then the fight between him and Uatu was just really great.
when they're in New York and he's punching him and the world is changing around them, every
And
punch
it
shatters
just like
reality. Is so cool.
now, did you notice that when they were fighting through the like when they were in the air punching and going that one of the planets that they were on um was Mustafar?
I didn't notice.
Yeah, it was during episode 3, Duel of the Fates.
So fucking funny. I didn't notice at all. I'll have to go back and watch it.
Yeah, because like you see like the classic like Mustafar outlook, and then you see Vader's castle in the background.
I'm gonna look it up right now so I can see it. I'm sure someone has a screenshot.
But also just that fight, and then the look on Widow's and Hawkeye's face when they think they get Ultron, and Arnim Zola, which is a great callback to them bringing him into the episode. Where he's like, "Oh, he's out of range." It's like, where the fuck is he?
I enjoyed that whole Arnim Zola thing where because it's like, hey, listen, you're the only one left.
Yeah.
Like, we've met you before. That one's destroyed. You're the only one left. Maybe maybe don't fuck with us.
Hmm.
I got a little water here. Like the whole like water like almost dripping onto the computer thing was cheesy as hell, and I loved it.
And then what threw me for are you seeing it?
Yeah, it's so obvious now.
Um,
Like,
what threw me for a little bit of the loop is Ultron's Infinity Stones working outside their native universe.
yeah, that was like that's not how it's supposed to work. The fact that he can do all that with the Infinity Stones is actually kind of crazy in and of itself.
I think it's also because he is part of the Infinity Stones, like
Yeah,
not in the sense that Thanos used them as a tool,
he's kind of
where
sentient Infinity Stone.
yeah, where Ultron like ingrained them into himself and has had them for much longer than Thanos did. Because
Yeah,
Thanos got all of them, snapped, and then snapped again to
then he
wipe them out.
Shrek'd. Yeah, he did his Shrek thing.
Yeah, and then
Uh,
like I was watching someone else's video, Straw Hat Goofy on TikTok. I watched his video about the explanation on the stones, and it made sense. Um,
Fucking TikTok names. I'm sorry.
Hold on a second. It made sense that the stones work outside the universe because in the Loki series, it was only ever stated that the stones do not work in the TVA.
Yeah, I guess the thing is, like, when I was watching that, I was like, is theoretically Uatu should have been able to deal with Ultron very easily, right?
Mm.
So I was like kind of interested in that whole fight being like, what's going on? Like, is like the Watcher just not as strong as he is in the comics, or like as we established that he kind of should be, given that we've established the TVA is this powerful?
I mean, I would say that.
I'm overthinking it.
I mean, but in my opinion, Uatu has never been wrong.
Yeah, but he's not strong in like the way of like strength. He's strong in the way that like Mr. Mixoplick Hiddleplick is strong. You know, like whereas he's a being that's watching from outside dimensions, which means that he has a higher he exists on a higher level of consciousness.
I I have to disagree with you. I think that he is straight like he is the watcher for the universe of 616. And then in the What If series, these other universes, but he's never been a powerhouse. Like he's able to like move things in certain areas, like like hey, look over here or whatever. But when it comes to like actual like power prowess, he doesn't have that.
Mm.
Like his power set is to just like remain unseen. Unless those times where it's like, because now in the comics, it's like whenever you see Uatu, it's like, okay, something big is about to happen.
Yeah, he showed up in Dark Ages #1.
Yeah, and then along with he was there for Black Panther's and Storm's wedding. There are just some events like that where it's like, okay, he's here for a momentous reason, and then there's like another, like he's here for a catastrophic reason, like Galactus or Annihilus.
Yeah, I guess that's true. Like I think
Um,
in my mind it's always just like these extra dimensional beings. You know what I mean?
mm,
Where it's like these are power in terms of like pure fighting force is not normally how I think of them in general.
yeah,
But I usually think that they are existing on like a high enough level to probably pluck some stuff. If you know what I
yeah,
mean,
like,
like be like, hey, you here. This is you existing in 2 dimensions.
mhm.
Like, right? Like
Yeah, like
I'm a
something
three
that Mr.
dimensional being.
Plixik can do.
Yeah.
Like that's Mr. Mixoplixik. Like he can do
Yeah.
that.
That's how I
Uatu
think
can't.
about like Iwatu, but I guess that's not really like the reality of him.
Because like you can't really kill Mixoplixik because at the end of the day he is more of an idea than a person.
Yeah.
Where like
Uatu
they've
has a
killed
mind.
Uatu.
Yeah.
And it's taken him some time to come back from being killed because he is like this kind of like ethereal being. So
Yeah.
he does eventually come back. Like in not Secret Wars, um fuck. The
And
event where the biggest secrets in the universe are spilled out because Uatu dies.
Sorry, I'm gonna look it up. Can't remember.
Um,
Uh, it's not original
Original
sin, is
Sin.
it?
Yeah,
Is it?
Original Sin.
Yeah,
Yeah, like Nick Fury kills him.
just crazy.
So it's like he's not this all powerful being, and like he definitely stays away from beings like Galactus and Annihilus, the Living Tribunal, along with like the entities of the Marvel universe that make up the Marvel universe. Yeah, so he is just this giant ethereal watcher who like just watches things.
Yeah,
The Watcher in the What If series is definitely stronger than the one of the comics because the one of the comics can't throw hands.
yeah.
Yeah. But this one he was throwing hands. And I'm looking forward to this week's episode because it's just the
Continuation.
What If Avengers.
Yeah, it's gonna be fucking sick.
Oh yeah, 100%.
Like series that have been like really good consistently so far. Like the two comic book series that I'm watching every week have been really.
Hmm.
That's all I can ask for. That they've both been solid.
Yeah.
Like Y has been fucking phenomenal. Some people online are like saying it's boring, and I'm like, I don't get that.
Hmm.
How is the plot of this show boring? Half the population was eradicated, and we're dealing with the fallout of that.
Yeah,
So
I think it's because like because of series like not for nothing like The Walking Dead, Fear the Walking Dead, Beyond the Walking Dead.
yeah,
That kind of like beat it over the head,
yeah,
and then like shows like The Strain, and like there was like a few other ones that came out that just kind of like it did kind of beat over the whole okay the world's ending due to some disease something that kills a large amount of people. Let's watch these survivors deal with things.
yeah,
And I think that the reason why uh you and me in particular, mainly you, are really excited about Why the Last Man is because it was a wonderful comic. The writing in it was amazing for the time it was in.
yeah.
And then just seeing them adapt it from this like post 9/11 comic into 2021.
Post pandemic show.
Yeah, and then like just dropping a lot of the undertones that the comic had and replacing it with other things and just kind of not reworking the entire story, just like doing it as if the comic was made in 2021.
Yeah, they modernized.
Yeah, and like I think that's just a wonderful thing to do when like like the small screen can do that because if we were to have gotten a Why the Last Man movie, it wouldn't have been this good.
They couldn't have established enough.
Yeah, but like
There's just too much
you know
source
what I mean
material.
though.
Yeah, I know what you
Like
mean.
if there was a route for them to do that, they might have done that. And I'm
Yeah,
glad that they went with this Hulu release with Why the Last Man.
yeah. I guess you're right. There is like that element where we have so many shows like that where there is burnout.
Hmm.
Like that does make sense.
And I think me and you aren't really facing that is because we both stopped watching The Walking Dead.
Yeah, it's hard to watch The Walking. But here's the thing about The Walking Dead. The Walking Dead was never like about zombies, really.
Hmm.
Like you know what I mean? The Walking Dead is a character drama.
Like the Walking Dead, like the zombies were like a hazardous environment. It was
Yeah,
like rain or like a really bad storm.
exactly. The
If
Walking Dead could have been like
The
a
Walking Dead,
Katrina thing. You know, like it's
yeah,
like we're like everything's gone to hell. Like it could have been anything, but like it's the character drama. So when the
yeah,
character drama stops being interesting, like you stop watching the show.
yeah, and like not only that, like there were just a lot of changes, like even in the first season of The Walking Dead, because I tried to go back to rewatch it and I can't.
It's 6 episodes long.
And, like not only that, but like just the changes that they made from
The
the
comic to the
comic
show.
to the show.
Yeah.
Just now after like because I told you like I stopped reading the comics after a certain point. After reading the whole thing, I'm like, okay, why did they kill Sophia in the first season?
I think it's
Why?
because they didn't think she would have anything going on. And she doesn't really until like later.
And then like, why did they kill Carl
Uh,
in the fifth season?
that one, I don't fucking know.
And like the relationship certain characters have, I didn't care the changes.
Yeah.
I did enjoy Rick and Michonne getting together.
Yeah, I agree.
I do wish we could have gotten the Rick and Andrea relationship.
But the Andrea that we got in the show was not
It's too different.
too. It was way too different.
Um, and then yeah, I just can't like I could probably I could put it on passively in the background, but I can't like watch it because of
No,
the changes.
you know what sucks? It feels like these later seasons, like these last like 2 seasons of The Walking Dead, have been really cool and interesting because they're covering stuff that happens way
Toward the
later
end.
towards
Yeah.
the end, and the stuff at the end is some of the most interesting and least like actually done out. If you know what I mean, like it's the
Yeah.
least expanded upon
Hmm.
because it at the end is. I mean, this isn't really a spoiler. It's pretty fucking fast.
Yeah.
Like it starts like picking up real fast after you have like the whisper war and stuff like that.
And but I think that's also like a comment on like actual society
Yeah,
where like these issues happen like that. Because like where they get to, it's like it's the new world versus the old world,
yeah,
and the old world being our world right now.
yeah. And it
And
can't work.
it can't, not after what they've been through.
Yeah, it's it's protecting people from the outside instead of telling them how to protect themselves.
Hmm.
Uh, it's there's a lot of like interesting commentary to be made about The Walking Dead, like the comic,
Hmm.
just like in general. I do think though, the more I think about it, why is a little different, and the reason why I think I say that is not just because I really enjoy the show. I think I'm probably a little biased on this one,
Hmm.
but I think it's different because like in The Walking Dead, they're not looking for a cure.
Yeah.
Like there is no like end in sight. It's all about surviving. For why? And like this is the true of like a lot of like disaster films. Like eventually like they're just like okay, we're not looking for a cure. Like we're just trying to survive. We're just trying to like rebuild society however we can. In why there's like we have a route to take that we need to go and do something. We know where we're going. We know how to like fix the world kind of in some way. This is
Hmm.
like the one chance we have. The characters that you're looking at are important. If they die, if something happens to them, it's all over.
Yeah, and like why the last man, they consistently look for a cure.
Yeah, there's like the goal is consistent. It's straightforward. You always know what's going on and why they're doing it, and you're curious as to why the event happened. You're curious in The Walking Dead too, right? But normally zombies are just like, oh, it's zombies.
Yeah.
We now know that it was aliens.
Yeah, it was an alien spore.
Yeah, Rob Kirkman confirmed that it was aliens. Um, but yeah, so we're kind of like talking about two kind of separate shows, but I do agree that like if you look at like why and you look at The Walking Dead and like shows like The Strain and The Ship and all these other like oh the world has ended and we've been through a fucking pandemic recently. Like we're living it. We're
Yeah.
still living in a pandemic. It hits a little close. There's
Yeah.
a level of like exhaustion there. Um, If you look at them at that surface level, they're all the fucking same. But yeah, I don't know. I've been really enjoying the comic shows. I'm enjoying the comic shows. I've been very excited for the. I want to go see Shang-Chi,
Yeah.
but like I'm still not ready to go into theaters, so I'm waiting.
Mm. Well, you just have to wait until like mid-October.
Oh, I know it's coming soon. Like, or it might be early November. I think they moved it back.
Mm.
But like either way, I'm fine. Like
Yeah.
I can go watch it. I'll watch it with Ion's coming for Thanksgiving.
Nice.
I'll watch it with her. It'll be great. But you know, everything's going good. There's one more thing I want to touch with you on before we end.
Mm.
And tell me if you just haven't heard about this. There's Batman the audio series. It's an
Oh
audio
wait.
it's a Batman audio drama being produced by HBO Max.
Okay, no, I haven't heard about this one.
Okay. It's
Like
from
I've heard about like I don't think it's sponsored by DC or HBO. Wait, no. I'm getting it wrong. Wolverine has an audio thing that went on for a little bit.
like recently. I know that there have been like a lot of audio book versions of comic books in the past couple of years. Like Civil War has its own audiobook that I started listening to, and they have a fully like voice acted cast. It's really cool.
You know, it's called Wolverine: The Long Night. And it is a Wolverine podcast.
That's pretty fucking cool.
It's I think it's on Spotify, but I did not hear about the Batman one
So
coming to.
it's called Batman the Audio Adventures, and it has a like a kind of an all star cast. Like we got Jason Sudeikis in there. We got Rosario Dawson as Catwoman.
Okay, now is it going to be just like kind of like dramatized where like they explain everything, or is it going to be like kind of like yeah, welcome today, blah blah blah. We're going to talk about Batman.
No, it's like a play. It's an audio drama. Like it's a play where they like do voice acting and things like that.
Okay, because like
So
when I
it's a
hear
written story.
like when I hear something like that, I think of like those old timey radio shows where it was just the radio and you just listening into the radio.
Yeah, that's what it is.
No, but like over the top, like you got that radio man voice,
I would.
and that's all you hear explaining everything.
I don't think they're gonna do a Radio Man style thing, like you're talking about the Shadow
Yeah, yeah.
stuff like that. I don't think they'll do that. I would fucking love it if they did, though. There's something pretty fucking great about that era of. Well, listen up. Have you heard about the Batman? The
Mhm.
Bat, and then like it's like, oh, what's that outside? Like
Yeah, like
that's
that. I
there's
think that
something
would be
about
pretty
that.
damn
There's
cool.
something atmospheric and fun about that. But no, it's like it's a fully voice acted. It's inspired by the '60s Batman comics.
Okay.
So like that era of Batman, like we're talking about Alan West
Mm.
era. It seems like and it seems like they already have episodes 1 and 2 out. Yeah, on YouTube.
Blue Ribbon
Well,
Content
I have something
presents
to check out tonight.
Yeah. Um, but yeah, I think I'm also going to listen to it tonight, and maybe we can talk a little bit about it next episode. See if we like
Yeah,
it.
sounds good.
Yeah. All right. Well, this was our first YouTube episode. I hope you all enjoyed it. It'll be available to play right after the broadcast ends because of how great being on this platform is without having to go between Twitch and this.
Mm-hmm.
So, new era. We're going to be coming back to this channel with some new show ideas in the future, so get ready for that. And again, if you want to join our Discord, it's right down below. And if you enjoyed this episode, don't forget to like and subscribe.
Yeah. And click the bell icon for
Yeah,
updates.
hit that bell. I won't inundate you. Just hit the bell.
Please.
Did you hit it?
A little bit.
Did you hit the bell? How about?
Did you?
It's right there. It's right. It's down there. It's actually below him. It's like right. It's like right there. Yeah, just go tap that bell for me. If your subscribe button is red, you need to hit that. Otherwise, something bad will happen.
Yeah.
I can't tell you what it is. It's more mysterious if I don't.
I can tell you what it is, though.
Okay, go ahead, tell them.
I'm gonna be outside your door with a baseball bat.
Okay, and that's a great episode here today. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next week. Bye.
Bye.
Oh my god.